At precisely 7:48 this morning, Prince William issued a statement so direct, so uncompromising that even those closest to the royal family momentarily stopped what they were doing. The future relationship between the Crown and the Duchess of Sussex has been conclusively determined. There will be no pathway for return. 19 words that didn't simply close a door. They sealed it permanently. The confirmation arrived without the usual diplomatic softening that typically cushions royal announcements. It came through Kensington Palace's official channel bearing William's name directly, a rarity that immediately signaled the gravity of what was being said. Within seconds, the statement began its journey across the world, lighting up newsrooms, vibrating phones, and triggering a cascade of reactions that stretched from London to Los Angeles. What made this moment so profoundly different from every previous royal statement about the Sussexes was not just the finality of the language. It was who delivered it. William had remained strategically silent through years of controversy, allowing the institution to speak through carefully crafted palace bulletins. But today he stepped forward personally. And when the future king speaks in his own voice about a matter this sensitive, the world understands immediately that something irreversible has occurred. The BBC interrupted its scheduled programming within 3 minutes. The anchor, a veteran royal correspondent who had covered the family for nearly 30 years, read the statement twice before looking directly into the camera and saying simply, "This is unprecedented. The Prince of Wales has just confirmed that Meghan will never return to the royal fold in any capacity." The weight of those words hung in the studio air like frost. Sky News pulled together an emergency panel. Analysts sat in stunned silence for a moment before one of them, a former palace press secretary, spoke how we got here. The Sussex saga in brief, everyone was thinking. William doesn't speak unless the matter is beyond negotiation. This isn't a warning. This isn't a boundary. This is a verdict. Across the Atlantic, where the East Coast was just beginning to stir in the pre-dawn darkness, news alerts lit up millions of screens. CNN's breaking banner scrolled with stark simplicity. Prince William confirms no return for Meghan Markle. CBS described it as the most definitive royal statement in modern memory. And on social media within 15 minutes of release, the confirmation had been shared more than 200,000 times. Outside Kensington Palace, journalists who had been stationed there for routine coverage found themselves suddenly at the center of a historic moment. One reporter standing in the cold December morning air described the scene to her camera crew. "You can feel it in the atmosphere here. This isn't speculation anymore. This isn't palace insiders suggesting possibilities. This is William, the future king, personally confirming that a former working royal will never be welcomed back. That has never happened before, not in this way." Inside the palace walls, senior staff moved through their duties with an almost eerie calm. They had known this confirmation was coming. They had helped draft the language, refine the tone, and prepare for the inevitable firestorm that would follow. But seeing it released, seeing William's name attached to words that would fundamentally alter the monarchy's relationship with one of its most controversial figures, brought a sobering clarity to the day. What struck many observers, particularly those who had covered the royal family through decades of scandal and reconciliation, was the absolute absence of any hedge language. Previous statements about the Sussexes had always included softening phrases like "at this time," "currently," or "under present circumstances." This one contained none of that. It stated plainly that there would be no pathway for return using a future tense that eliminated any possibility of reinterpretation or future negotiation. This was a boundary built not of temporary wood, but of cold, hard stone. For older viewers in Britain, especially those who remembered the tumultuous Diana years and the eventual reconciliations that followed various royal crises, William's confirmation felt almost shocking in its permanence. The monarchy had always left doors slightly ajar, always maintained the possibility targeting Catherine, timed leaks and media warfare that time and circumstance could heal what conflict had broken. But not today. Today, William had personally ensured that this particular door would remain closed, locked, and never reopened. This action was a definitive line drawn in the institutional sand, signaling that certain breaches of trust could never be mended. What exactly had pushed William to take this extraordinary step? What accumulation of pressures, provocations, and breaking points had finally reached a threshold that even the legendary patience of the palace machine could no longer absorb? The answer lies not in a single moment, but in months of escalating tension that culminated in a crisis of legitimacy. William's statement this morning was not an impulsive reaction. It was the ultimate strategic move born of necessary self-defense. To understand why William felt compelled to issue this confirmation, we must look back at the autumn months of 2024 when a series of escalating pressures converged. Throughout September and October, Catherine, the Princess of Wales, had become increasingly troubled by a precise pattern she could no longer dismiss as coincidence. Every time she launched a major foundation initiative, every time she appeared at a significant public engagement, articles would surface within days suggesting internal